I bought this Diablo 3 Special Edition Nintendo Switch for $100 from a viewer who said they thought it was liquid damaged. I haven't opened this yet, so I don't even remember what's included. Let's open it up and find out. All right, so we've got the custom Joy-Cons. Those are just thumbstick caps, so actually not very custom. They're mostly just gray. They look like they're in decent condition though. So we got those. And then we've got the Switch tablet itself. See what kind of condition that's in. Oh, the screen's in really nice condition. I don't even see any scratches on it. What about the back? Same. This is really nice. Okay, well, I'm excited about that. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like on the inside. What else do we have in here? This special edition does include a custom case, and it looks like that's what this is. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't remember if the seller said that he included this, but obviously he did. That is super cool. Needs a little cleanup on the inside, but really cool case still. And I believe we have the dock in here. Want to take a look at that. And we got cables and the Joy-Con grip. Let's check out the dock though. It's got some special artwork on it. Yeah, so cool. Nothing on that side, but okay. So that's enough checking it out. Let's get into the tablet and see what's going on. Now, the seller of this special edition Nintendo Switch said that this was the first console that he and his fiance purchased together when they first moved in together. They got it at a GameStop on Black Friday and they've loved playing it, but some time ago he noticed that it seems to have a lot of corrosion going on internally. From what he can tell, some kind of liquid seems to have dropped into the top vent and dripped all the way down the board. He said he would say it's an accident, but with where this has been located, it feels like someone intentionally dripped water into it to try and ruin the device, but that's just a speculation. And with the back cover off, I can definitely see what the seller is talking about. There is some sort of granules. Honestly, it looks like sugar or salt, and I would, if I had to guess, I would say sugar. And there's one way to figure it out, just give it a little taste. I'm kidding, I'm not gonna taste it, that's disgusting. So I think probably what we're gonna do here is just tear this thing completely down and then get all of it out. And then probably, we'll have to see what the condition of the board is. I might do an ultrasonic clean on that, or maybe just clean it with a toothbrush and some IPA. But we gotta get it torn down the rest of the way just to see the condition of the rest of it. My work mat has these little granules all over it. Wonder how much I would have to pay someone to try this stuff and see what it is. And it's all over this foam and the sticky parts of it. Got a lot of it on there. I have to really clean my work mat after this. This is interesting too. We've got what looks like maybe some corrosion right down here on this heatsink. Got a little bit down in here, so yeah, there's more here. So he could have been right that this was kind of a case of sabotage. And we got some way down in there as well. Yeah. My whole workbench, my work mat anyway, is just getting this stuff all over it. I'm gonna move it off a little bit so I don't get so much crunchiness when I'm moving this thing around. All right, and now we'll continue with the teardown. The game card slot should be interesting to see if there's any in that. That could easily cause a problem with playing games if there's a bunch down inside the slot. Yeah, there's some right here. So that's gonna need to be cleaned for sure. Some right here. I'm leaning towards sugar. I'm feeling like maybe this sugar has kind of melted in spots. I'm still not convinced though. The good news is that I don't really see any corrosion, or not very much. Even those little spots that I've showed you, I don't even know for sure if that's corrosion or if that's just that material degrading. Whatever it is. All right, and fan. Yeah, we got a bunch in the fan. Right down there, you can see it. Yeah, it just kind of clumped together. This stuff is everywhere, whatever it is. I wish sugar and salt had a smell. That would make this a lot easier. No corrosion under any of these ribbon cables that I've seen so far, which is great news. Ribbon cables and corrosion love to hang out together, so I'm glad that they are not doing that so far in this case. These speaker connectors, I'm using a pair of very slender needle nose pliers. These are available on iFixit, that's where I got them, but I didn't get it because I was promoting iFixit. I got them because these work really well on those tiny connectors. They have nice sharp teeth and they just grip really nicely. So you can grip onto them without damaging the cables or the wires going into the connectors and without damaging the connectors themselves. Okay, and we are almost done with getting this board out. It's got a few screws that hold it in, and then we can have a look at the back side of it and see the extent of the damage here, or maybe not damage, the extent of the contamination from a foreign object, or lots of foreign objects. This is good too, though. We'll be able to see the condition of the port really well. Just to make sure this is in really good condition. Okay, and it's fully out. Let's have a look at the other side. Oh, good. This looks like it's in pretty good condition. Actually, really good condition. I don't see any problems at all with this board, at least so far. So the next thing is, how am I going to get all of this stuff out of all of these little crevices? Now, just looking at this more, I think what I'm going to need to do is just take a lot more of this stuff out. Like, for example, the speaker looks mostly fine here, but if we flip it over, you can see there's a bunch of that stuff right along the edge of it. So I think what I'm going to do is just disassemble this thing almost all the way. I'm not going to take the battery out because there's no way that it would have gotten under adhesive or anything. There's a bunch of it kind of down in the crevices, but I can get that out okay. So I'm going to take a bunch more of this stuff off, and then we'll give it a good cleaning, vacuum it all out, and then see where we are. I think it'll probably be a good idea to take apart at least one of the Joy-Cons as well and just make sure that the insides of those are looking good. Might as well just do both of them while we're here. Just at least open them up and have a look inside. Okay, so we got one rail. Is there any? Yep, there's some even down along here. Down along the rail. All right, so the question I have is, who did this and why? That's what I want to know. The seller didn't say anything about kids. I mean, we always blame this stuff on kids, but they didn't say they had kids. And that doesn't mean they don't, but they definitely didn't say that. In the email that they sent, it said it was in a, what did they say, like a suspicious location or something, or given the location, the circumstances are suspicious. So I'm not sure what he meant by location, though. One of those times I wish I would have asked more questions. Maybe they'll comment on this video when they see it and give us all a little more information here, because this is getting to be an interesting story. All right. Maybe like a old college friend or something. Got a little bit down in there. It's not too bad, though. All right, let's get this speaker out, too. Want to make sure we can get as much of this stuff up as we can. Yeah, there's a bunch of it along there. There's even some down in this little hole right here. I don't know if I'll be able to get that out or not. All right, how's that looking? I'm gonna just flip this over. And that's how much came out just from that. Can't really see it too good on camera, but let's try brushing this out. I'm gonna do a little bit of it kind of like upside down. Got a few little pieces in here. Got to be very careful anytime you're working near the battery. I don't want to puncture the battery in any way, or even the plastic around it. So I'm just being very, very careful. Oh, I know what we can do with this. We can take a little bit and see if it dissolves. That'll tell us whether it's sand or whether it's, you know, organic, like a salt or sugar. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, judging by some of the parts in this case, like right down here, it looks like it probably dissolves some amount right there. So that might answer the question, but I feel like I have to investigate this further myself. Okay, I feel like we're getting it pretty good actually. Okay, but I need to collect enough of this stuff that we can try and dissolve it. I'm actually gonna, I don't want to use like any of my toothbrushes because I don't want this stuff to get caught all up in the bristles and then we wouldn't have enough to try and dissolve it. I know we're going a little out in the weeds in this video. It's turning into a chemistry YouTube, but I'm really curious. I hope you're curious. This will at least help narrow down what might be going on with this thing. So, okay, that should be enough, I would think, to try and dissolve this stuff. So I'm gonna go get some very hot water, then we'll put it in the water and see what happens. And here we have some nice warm water, hot water. Let's see what happens. Give it a little stir. Is it dissolving? Okay, I think we have our answer. It's totally dissolved. So I think we've either got salt or sugar. I don't know which, and I'm certainly not gonna drink this. Or am I? Just kidding, I'm not. I think maybe, just judging by how fast that dissolved, that maybe this is sugar. Let me know in the comments what you think it is and what your reasoning for that is, especially if there's any chemists or culinary artists in the audience. I'm just gonna go through and just clean up all these little areas that look like it had some in it. There's still little bits and pieces stuck to stuff. That's the other thing that's got me thinking maybe it's sugar. This almost would have been a good one for Robert over on the Restorist channel, but probably not quite gross enough. Those videos, we got to make sure they start out gross so they're really satisfying at the end. It looks like we got some more down in here. Yep, got a little more out. Okay, let's use a little bit of air. I think I have every piece of sugar removed from this switch. Oh, nope, got some more down here. Got some stuck to this adhesive. That's just crazy how much of these little pieces, and honestly, it's not a big deal if I get all of it off, but I really want to. I don't want this to just to be a pristine switch when I'm done. Nice and clean inside. I want to do all this work just to leave a bunch of sugar in here. I definitely don't expect it to be perfect. Now I need to clean up my workbench and then start it up and see if it works after all this. And right after I cleaned up my work mat, I realized I have all these little components that I need to clean too. One speaker's clean, the next one. This one's actually not that dirty. How about this guy? Yep, got a little bit on here. Make sure we don't have any down in the rails or down in the connector at the bottom here. Okay, good on that one. Good on that one. Got to make sure that we get all of it out of the fan, so that'll just kind of fling it throughout the rest of the system. There's a bunch in here. Let's go with some compressed air. Okay, think we got it all out of there. Now the game slot. Some big old chunks of it in here. Okay, I think I might have to soak this in some isopropyl alcohol or something, because there's just, every time I push my pick down in there, there's just more that comes out. I'm going to soak this in isopropyl alcohol and probably some BW100 as well. And hopefully that'll be enough to get any of that stuff out of here that's still in there. I got the vast majority of it. So I'm gonna do that part off camera. There's nothing too interesting there. Let's see, I think other than this guy, got a bunch around the adhesive on here. Look at all those little grains. better. Got it all off of that. Do have a little bit on the board, of course. And given the fact that these are very small grains, I think I should take this shield off. Actually, I'm gonna take it off just to look. It's probably fine, but there's a lot of tiny grains that got into this thing. Okay, let's see what we have under the shield. Surprisingly, there's none under there. Okay, that is great news. The thermal paste under here actually looks pretty good. So I'm gonna leave that. No, I better replace it. So let's get this thermal paste replaced and then we'll move on. We've got just that metal shield and the heat pipe and heat sink to check. So we'll do that next. And then it should be getting pretty close to get put back together, hopefully. And now the part that we're all here for, the perfect amount of thermal paste. Then the shield can go back on. There we go. All right, now let's take a look at that heat pipe and heat sink and the metal plate. There is so much along this part, this adhesive right here. I could easily see that someone probably did pour some sugar or something down through the vent for the heat sink. Just gonna scrape some of this off. And the rest of this I'm just gonna clean off camera. This has gotta be getting boring by now. So I'll clean it off camera, then we'll come back when it's time for the reassembly. And the heat pipe, heat sink, and back metal plate are all nice and clean. And this is how much I have after I thought I was done cleaning. Now I gotta clean up my work mat again, and then we can finally start the reassembly. And work mat is clean. Let's take a look at one of these Joycons real quick and just see if these also have been contaminated with sugar, or whether these are clean inside. Just gonna look at one. I think if one is clean, the other one probably is too. And I don't think there would be any in here, but I just wanna double check. These are also super easy to open up, so there's kind of like no good reason to not check. There we go. Yep, nice and clean inside. So no worries there. Okay, so now that we know that, let's get this switch put back together and test it and see if this thing even works. It's all clean, all the screws are in. Let's see if it'll turn on. Come on. Oh, this is good news. I think. Yeah, there we go. All right, and there we go. So this Diablo 3 Nintendo Switch has been fixed. Honestly, I think it might have been fixed before. If I remember right, there was something in the email about how we thought it was fully working. It just had all this stuff in it. So either way, it's clean and it works. And for anyone wondering, it does play a game just fine, and the Joy-Cons also work just fine as well. If you want to see me trying to fix another Nintendo Switch that I think you'll like, I'll put a video up on your screen now, so you can click on that and come hang out with me over there and see if I can fix it. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you have a good one.